This is Big Business with Sarah, the podcast for entrepreneurs who want to continue building their business and understand you should never stop learning. Welcome to episode 22 of Big Business with Sarah. How to discover and show up as your inner CEO. I think I'm going to love making this episode. Not sure yet because I'm just starting. But I really strongly believe in visualizing what kind of person or what kind of life you wish to have or to become. And I think it will really help you get there easier and in a better way. So let's just start immediately. The inner CEO, who is she and what does her day look like? That's what we're going to talk about, first. So visualizing that inner CEO, I really want to, so for me, for instance, my inner CEO is always... For instance, during the lockdown, I know that this was quite difficult for many people. Well, I mean, quite difficult, but, sometimes people would work in their pajamas, for instance. I have decided really early on in the COVID crisis, I thought, you know what, I'm going to shower really every day when I'm going to work. That is at least what I want. And I really want to do my best in dressing up. And for instance, I don't want, clothes that pinch me or anything, but I do want to look nice. And so I invested in that as well, in a wardrobe that fits me and what I want to show up as. And maybe also really decide, how you want your office to look like. How does your inner CEO office look like? How do you spend your days? Is it with a lot of calls? Are you doing a lot of deep work? Are you writing? Are you always in the media? I don't know what kind of inner CEO you want to become. So for me, for instance, there's a few women which I look up to. And you probably all, if you've listened to some episodes of my podcast or follow me on Instagram, you know that I love Oprah, but I also do love Anna Wintour. Not every part of her. I don't like the way she's treating her team, but I do like her niche authority and that everyone has to kind of pass by her before they make a decision. I think that's incredibly powerful. And so that there's so many more women that I really look up to and that I think, they don't just wake up and think, just another day. No, they have a plan. So, yes. So channeling that inner CEO and writing this down for yourself. What would she look like? What would her day look like? Then I want to ask you, what micro upgrades can you already do in your life to become closer to her? So I have an idea of an agency that I want to start with a friend of mine, and we both have the same idea of what the office is going to look like. So we want to have an office. We want to have happy people. We really want to invest in the knowledge of the people that are working for us. I find that very important. And, we just want to come in at a time at our convenience. We get an update and, the team is working really hard and are very motivated. They get, they are well paid. So those are things that I find very important and that will help me channel that inner CEO. So that's a dream that I have and it's going to happen. I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but I know, that I can get there. So what are micro upgrades that you can do to be closer to her? So maybe investing, or maybe you can listen to the previous episode, which is about hiring your first team member and learning on how to become a leader that could be a micro upgrade. Yeah, you can also talk about more visual stuff like changing your wardrobe, maybe thinking about, I don't know, maybe you think this is a little bit strange and maybe thinking, why is this about business? But actually, your appearance is also very important in business because that's the first thing that people see of you, right? The first impression. And once you've thought of your micro upgrade, I want you to think about what is stopping you now from being her. And I'm loving my clients, but also my followers a lot, and I think they're doing great. But sometimes people really tend to make themselves smaller than they are, and that's the reason also why I called my program, my mother program, let's say, where all my ideas come from, big business, because I want you to step into that big business. I want you to make yourself, maybe even if it feels like that, bigger than you actually are, because in that way you can reach your goals much easier because you're already there in your head. So I would like you to journal on what is stopping you from being her. And an exercise that I did in my Big Business, Big Life program, which is more of a mindset program, a workshop series that I did last month, was an exercise on how would you like it? How would it be if, for instance, Oprah would interview you in 10 years? And what is the story you would tell her? This is an exercise that I made up myself. And I already have those interviews with Oprah in the car or in the shower or wherever. And I'm kind of drawing my story for her. And she's, I'm just waiting for that call that she's going to say, you know what, Sarah, I love what you do. Please come on my Super Soul Conversations podcast, and I would be thrilled. But what would have been the steps that I've taken that she would like? So Oprah fangirl alert here. But yeah, so what do you want the story to be, to tell Oprah, or maybe someone else you admire that you really want to share your story with? I don't know who that is for you, but for me it's Oprah. And so there is a few things that could kind of stop you from being that inner CEO and taking her out, and that could be imposter syndrome, for instance. This is something that is happening to many, mostly women, unfortunately. And imposter syndrome is really about, oh, you know what, they're all right that they're not going to work with me because I am not good enough. I'm not really sure if I can do this. Maybe someone else is much better at this than me. All these feelings of feeling less. And if you're feeling that, I would like you to write down for yourself, why would people work with you? And write down all the reasons why people would want to work with you. And that could probably help you take that next step. Maybe you are intimidated by others. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I also want to have an online shop, but I don't have as much followers. Try to see the human side of this. So someone who, for instance, also, if I'm looking somewhere up to Oprah so much, I know that she has started somewhere. So I love watching interviews with her about her youth and the way she started her career, because then I know, oh, you know what, I don't have to take 10 steps at once. I can also just take one step at a time, because that's also what she did. So also looking at the career path or the business path that someone has taken will humanize someone and make someone or their achievements more achievable for you. And maybe one of the reasons why you're not your inner CEO yet is because you believe it hasn't yet happened for you. There are so many success stories of people that have tried to build companies for I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and it hasn't yet happened. And I want you to think, why would that have been a success? What's the proof? Why shouldn't have worked then, and maybe why can't it work? I don't know, maybe in a month or in a year or in 2 years or in 5 years. And what's the problem with that? Try to think a little bit more light on your achievements and see the growth and be grateful for everything that you've already done. So I want to ask you to try to implement those micro upgrades and to step a bit closer to your CEO, and also think about to your inner CEO, and also to think about what's stopping you now from doing that. And I want to close with sharing a quote from Maya Angelou. And she says, ask for what you want and be prepared to get it. And especially for you, I have a free download for you. It's the Leader Guide, and that will help you also make this a little bit more of your daily practice. And I have something very excited that I want to share with you. Something very new is that I am opening my waitlist for private podcast series, which is called Summer Reset. And it's a private podcast series. You can really dive much deeper into this. It will be much about mindset work during your holidays. And it will be a 21-day podcast, and with short episodes where I'm in your ears and giving you some mindset tips and really giving you that summer reset and make you prepare for the final quarter of this year, quarters, because it's still Q3 also. And I'm so much looking forward also to creating that. And you can already get subscribed to the waitlist. And of course, you will receive a discount once you do that. Thank you so much for listening, and good luck with creating your inner CEO.